Live from Southern California, this is the Jim Rome Show.
Might be my first week back after my 2-week break, but I've not forgotten to do this. Alvy. Yeah! Didn't have to ask. Did not even have to ask. Thank you very much, Alvy. That is what is known as the Deca Yeah. We do that on Fridays. Welcome to the Jim Rome Show. It is presented by my pals at FanDuel. Great to have you here. Great to be here. Great to have you here. Hey, listen, it's a Friday. Make sure you finish strongly. Come to the rack and finish strong. All right? Don't be laying it up. Don't come in here lame. Don't be weak. You'll enjoy your Friday a lot more this afternoon and this evening if you finish strong. All right? Let's get it. Telephone number is toll free. Let me lay out the rules of engagement. Phone, X, email, chat. 4 different ways. 1-800-636-8686. Hit me up on X at Jim Rome. Get to our YouTube channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hey, it's not too much to ask, right? We built it. We're broadcasting live from it. It's the best way to watch the program on the internet. All I'm asking in return is that you hit that sub button. Just hit subscribe. Thank you very much for doing that. And then jump in the chat. If you want to email me, you can do that too. Rome, R-O-M-E, @haveatake.com. So 2 interviews on this Friday. Jamal Mosley, the Jungle Friend. Also, the new head coach of the Pelicans. That's going to happen at 12:40. Coming up in hour number 2, the head football coach at Duke, Manny Diaz. Coming up in hour number 3, Alvy's Week That Was, the ATP. And you never know. Fridays are fun. You never know what might happen on a Friday. So, you get up in here. Find your way in and let's get it going. Topic number 1. All right, so it is no secret that this is not exactly the busiest week of the sports year. Not exactly the busiest week of the sports calendar. Nobody is more aware of that fact than LeBron James. Nobody is leveraging that fact to torture the entire world like LeBag himself right now. I mean, he really is making my point for me because this might be his baggiest moment ever. Seriously, the indecision might just be the corniest, lamest thing he's done since the original decision itself. And this is why I have to call it out, even though I promised myself I would not. I promised myself I would not talk about this or him or it. But this is why I have to cover day 2 of Bag Fest in New York City, even though it's the last thing in the world that I want to cover. The 2 topics that I simply cannot get away from, even though I'm trying to desperately run away from both of them, are soccer and LeBron. LeBron because he wants that run. All he wants is that run. That's the whole point of this. All he wants is run and attention. It's his oxygen. It's his life force. It's the only thing he likes as much as he likes himself. There is no reason why we still don't have a decision. Well, there is one reason. LeBag wants to drag it out as long as possible to bask in all the attention and make sure that everybody is going to wait on him. And they are. Even the most powerful people in this league are stuck waiting on this dude. Several entire organizations are stuck waiting for this dude. Hell, even Adam Silver, Powder himself, is fed up with this nonsense. But there's not a damn thing that Powder can do about it. Check it. Quote, Adam Silver is among those waiting on LeBron to make a free agent decision. That according to Yahoo Sports. Powder even admits the indecision is holding up the schedule-making process, which is why he said, quote, I need him to make a decision. End of quote. They can't even make the NBA schedule. You think LeBron gives a damn? He's loving it. Quote, I need him to make a decision. Right. You and me both, Powder. You, me, and the rest of planet Earth. Powder? Hell, even Pat Riley, who waits for nobody.
Get a grip.
The OG basketball gangster, one of the most powerful figures in NBA history, arguably the Godfather, is just as powerless as the rest of us right now. Riles was like, I talked to the dude weeks ago. At this point, I don't know. I'm like everybody else. I'm just waiting.
To be transparent about it, we've had discussions, over a week ago for, maybe a week before that about it. But right now, I think we're like everybody else. We're just waiting to see what he does, and then
we're just waiting. We're just waiting to see what he does. And believe me, nothing makes LeBag happier than hearing that. Because that right there is the entire point of this entire charade. This 41-year-old, soon-to-be 42-year-old man-child needs everybody to look at him. And I don't even really know why, honestly. And just don't try to come in here and tell me that he hasn't made up his mind yet, Rome. Bullcrap. Of course he has. You know he has. You know he knows exactly what he's going to do. He's just not done milking it for all it's worth. Check out the reaction today at Bagfest 2. Bagfest Day 2, when the audience for his live taping of the shop found out that there would be no announcement again today. Look at this reaction.
We don't have an announcement to make just yet, guys.
The entire world is waiting on this. They're waiting to schedule the games. They're waiting to do everything.
That's great. That's great.
Bro, it's all
Boo! He's even got his own people booing him. And again, that's a lie, by the way. He does have an announcement to make, if you ask me. He's just not making it yet. It's not that he doesn't have an announcement to make. It's that he's not done bagging it up yet. We're talking about a soon-to-be 42-year-old man who is absolutely one of the very, very best basketball players who ever lived, maybe the best. He's a billionaire. He's got a beautiful family. I have no idea why he needs so much attention on top of all of that. He has everything. All I know is he clearly needs attention on top of all of that because he is holding the entire world hostage right now to make sure that he gets all that attention that he needs. Imagine being in that crowd and Bagfest Day 2 and not getting the announcement, but instead having to listen to another hour plus of bagging. I'll give you an example. How about, for instance, this little rant about people supposedly pushing him to retire?
Sports, there's always conversations like, when is he going to retire? He needs to retire. He's this age, he's that age. But why? But why? Why are we trying to force people that's still doing what they do at a high level? Why are we trying to force the narrative of it's time to retire? You know what I'm saying? You look at like guys like Bruce Springsteen and some of the greatest musicians. They're still on tour. The Stones. They just watch the Stones. They're 81. They've been on tour for 50, 60 years, and no one's telling them, hey, go come to our city and go, do a tour. So it's like.
This is what I mean about the baggery. So this guy's sitting up here lecturing all of us, lecturing everybody. Why are you pushing me to retire? Why are you asking when you're going to retire? I can answer that. You know why? The reason that your possible retirement was a narrative and a dominant story this season was because you kept acting like you might retire. You kept saying, I don't know if this is going to be my last game. That's why. That's it. I never bought it, by the way. I never bought it for a second. But it was you who kept acting like it could be the end. I don't know. Time will tell. That's why that was a narrative. How are you going to sit up here and lecture everybody and turn this around? Like, why are you trying to push me out? Why are people always trying to push people out? Look at Bruce Springsteen. He's up there playing the same 16 songs for 50 years. What's the difference? I don't know, everything, but that aside. Dude, what are you doing acting like we did this to you when you were the one carrying on all year long about, I don't know, this could be it. That's why that was a narrative, all right? You're milking this whole thing. This dude, he wants to milk a fake retirement for attention and then turn around and blame everybody else for pressuring him to retire. That's the type of baggery that makes this dude so insufferable. Just wait until he tries to turn around and then blame all of us for making him drag out this decision. You know that's coming. Of course, now LeBag is acting like he might play not another year, but multiple years. After acting all year like this might be his last season. And then complaining about the media narrative that we're forcing him to retire and why do we keep asking? Not insufferable at all. And by the way, if the indecision is this insufferable, can you imagine how insufferable the year-long retirement tour is going to be? And then imagine this. What if he doesn't retire? What if he does play multiple seasons? Imagine if he tries to pull the same exact stunt a year from now. Can you imagine him going around for an entire year, getting gifts and everything just lavished upon him, only to say, psych, I'm coming back. I'm going to make another decision.
Psych.
You almost expect it at this point. Actually, I'm not done. Which just makes this current indecision even more tedious. Man, somebody's got to get through to this guy. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but we might need to get the band back together. You know, that all-star lineup of Ohio musical luminaries who teamed up for that timeless classic, Please Stay LeBron. We need you people. We need you to come together. We need the band back together. And you know what? I'm happy to help. I would never ask you to do something that I wouldn't do myself. So let's do this. Please choose LeBron. No one really needs you. Wait, hold up. Why am I the only one singing? Yo, XR4TI, y'all got mics? Don't they work? You guys all want this as much as I do. Everybody now, from the top, a 3, a 2, and a 1. All together.
Please choose LeBron.
No one really needs you.
But you're the biggest bag in the whole world, and we all want to move on.
It's a
choice you're making to drag this out and be a bag. And the world would be a better place if you just said it out loud.
No. You don't like that.
Wow.
I don't like that call. Not a very good call.
My head hurts more than when I banged it off the boathouse in Eagle River. Bagfest 2? Day 2 of the Bagfest? And it feels like it's been going on for years. It's just 2 days. How long are you going to drag this out, dude?
Nice team effort.
Hey, but good job, XR4TI. Thank you very much. Nice job. Good job. Good effort. Good job. Good effort. Thanks for helping me with that. 2 days of this. Problem is we're giving this dude exactly what he wants, right? All right, so there's that. I'm not kidding. So I'm constantly thinking about the show. What are we doing on the show? What are we doing on the show tomorrow? Then I'll come in. I think about it at night. Then I get up in the morning. I'm like, all right, what happened overnight? All right, so now I'm in it in the morning, and things are happening in the morning. All right, so the show is changing. What am I going to do? I don't know exactly what I'm going to do, but I know what I'm not going to do. I'm not talking soccer, and I'm not talking LeBag. And yet here we are, right off the very top, talking LeBag. You know soccer's going to worm its way in here somehow. Somehow, some way, I'll end up talking about that too. The two things I did not want to talk about, and I've already talked about one off the very top. All right, so in addition to that, tinfoilers. You know how you think everything is rigged? You know how you think everything is fixed? And every single day we fight this battle on this show where I've got to tell you, no, it's not, no, it's not. How can everything be fixed? How can everything be rigged? And then you come in here and you say, you just don't get it, Rome. You're a part of the problem. You're a part of the machine. You're a part of the matrix. You're not even you, Rome. You don't even know. You don't even know that you're not you, Rome. Well, part of me actually is sympathetic to that. Part of me actually understands that. Part of me is starting to think that, I don't know. I'm not going to say that everything's fixed, but part of me wonders if everything is fake. I'll tell you the difference a little bit later on, because I saw something today. Anytime I see anything that seems too good to be true or too funny to be true, I think fake. So I saw something today that hit my feed. I'm like, damn, that's funny. That's funny. And I ran it through Tom. I'm like, Tommy, you tell me. Like, I want to believe it's true. What do you think? And I'll tell you what he said. Then I'll tell you where we come out, and I'll play it for you. And then I'm going to ask you, clones, what you think about that, too. So that's coming up. And it's Friday. Anything can happen on a Friday. Like I said, I think about the show at night. I think about the show when I wake up. I think about the show when I'm working, and then everything changes. And then we start doing the show, and then things change. So you don't know exactly what might happen, especially on a wild Friday. Let me reset you very quickly. The rules of engagement, 1-800-636-8686. Or get to the X at Jim Rome. Or get to the chat. Chat's a blast. Just try it. Go to our YouTube channel, hit the sub button, jump in the chat. Or if you want to go old school and email me, we still read emails. Hell, I might bring back the fax machine. I might bring back the text number. I can do it all. I can do whatever the hell I want. I own the show. That'd be cool. Jamal Mosley at 1240. Manny Diaz coming up at 120. So we're not done yet. It is still the biggest stage in the world. FanDuel, on the biggest stage in the world, is changing the game because sometimes your player gets subbed off and your bet goes with them, but not anymore. Not with FanDuel Super Sub. If your player is subbed out, your bet stays in. That's right. If your player leaves the match, your bet continues on with the substitute, so you're still in it until the final whistle. Because in matches like these, anything can happen, and now your bet can go the distance. Let there be goals this summer on FanDuel. It's the app that I'm having an entire blast with. In fact, I'm in it every single day. I love that app. Visit FanDuel.com/Rome and get started right now. FanDuel.com/Rome to get started right now.
21 plus, select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino. 18 plus, D.C., Kentucky, Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-MY-RESET. Call 1-888-789-7777. Visit ccpg.org/chat Connecticut. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org Maryland. Visit Gambling Helpline, ma.org. Call 800-327-5050 Massachusetts. Call 1-8778-HOPE-NY New York. Call 1-8777-867 Louisiana.
You're listening to The Jim Rome Show.
Bobby. That's fast and angry. I like it. Don't forget, Friday is an ATP day. Ask the pros. You get to ask me or anybody else on the crew a question, and it's sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts. What you want to do is post that question to @JimRome. Use the hashtag #AskThePros on X. Listen later on, and we will answer them. Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts. All right, so really quickly, aside from Jamal Mosley coming up at 12:40, or in about 15 minutes from right now, I do have some chat reaction. Ooh, a super chat. A $2 super chat. See, this guy got to the top for just $2. He cut the line for $2. Quote, attention, this is from @MichaelFast. Attention is this generation's drug of choice. Actually, hate is. But attention's one of them. At 3 cracked cheeks. Don't give up your day job. What do you mean, bro? This is my day job. Me singing on the air is part of my day job. That's why I dragged the XR4 Ti in. It's part of their day job. What do you mean, don't give up my day job? This is my day job. Haunted Horse, Rome. Hearing you all sing makes me long for Dino's music. Horse, be very careful what you wish for. Michael Fast is back in. So he's already gotten in with a super chat, the $2, and this one for free. XR4 Ti just put on a better performance on the spot than anything Dino has ever done. Mikey, you also be very careful what you wish for. JB Trucker 1283 on the chat. Oh! Been listening and peeping Jim Show forever. First time I've ever heard the crew singing. LOL. Got to keep you on your toes. That's what I want. I want you not to know what we're going to do day to day. You didn't see that coming, did you? Brian Udig. He really could retire. He who? He who, Brian? He who? I know you're not talking about LeBron, because LeBron really couldn't retire. This is what's so baggy about the whole thing. He was acting like he could when all along we knew that he wouldn't. But not only that, not only was he acting like he could, even though we knew all along that he wouldn't, he's offended that we're pushing the narrative and trying to push him out. Bro, this is not 3D chess you're playing. You're not fooling anybody. It's just baggery. It's not chess. It's not 3D chess. It's not even checkers. Baggery is below checkers. Why are you turning this around on us when you were the one that pushed the narrative yourself? Aaron in Iowa, quote, I need him to make a decision. Signed Clone Wives on her man, sleeping on the couch or in the garage. Sodak Augie, Romy, enough. Okay, I can't take any more LeBag talk. Can't we just get to your soccer takes? Can't you just put Parody Larry on for an entire segment? Anything to make LeBag Fest stop. I can't. That's my whole point. I did everything I could. He won't stop. It won't stop. I can't make it go away.
It can't be bargained with.
And then there's the obvious open or the obvious narrative on a Friday about what I wear on Friday when I go casual. Craig Drevitt, 9884. Romy, why are you dressed like you're in Tron? I don't know. I'm looking at me. I think I look pretty good. Eric on the South Side. Is Rome's sweater on inside out? No, dumbass. It's not on inside out. You see the patch here? No. Dumbass. Billy Webb, 9388. Rome's shirt is making me sweat. Why, bro? You're not wearing it. Why is it making you sweat? And never mind that I came home yesterday. And do I look like that guy? That's Tron. Do I look like that guy? Come on. I come home yesterday, and as we all know, heat rises. I go to the second floor where the Pelly is, and I look at my thermostat, 83. It's 83 degrees in my home. I'm like, damn, that's a record. 83. So DJ's not home yet. DJ is en route right now, en route. So I've been alone for the week. It doesn't bother me so much, honestly. Well, in the middle of the night when I sleep in what then becomes an oven, it bothers me. But I'm weird like that. I get on that bike. I'm not like Chris Chelios, like I drag the bike into the sauna, but I might as well if it's 83, right? If it's 83 upstairs in the makeshift gym, you know it's 85 or more. And I knocked it out. I rode for an hour. It's like hot yoga. I love it. I love it. Janet won't like it. This guy, right? This is Obi Trice No Gimmicks. His shirt isn't inside out. That's just expensive stitching. Not your fault. You aren't used to it. Thanks, Obi. Exactly. Exactly. It's sharp, man. Look, if you're not going to say it, I'm going to say it myself. I look good. Look good, feel good. Feel good. Don't get paid nearly as much as I used to. Look good, feel good. Hey, I'm the boss. I'm the boss. I had to take a pay cut. Parody Larry, dude, what are you doing here? Parody Larry? Parody Larry's in chat now. Parody Larry, nobody's happier about chat than Parody Larry because he's like, great. Someplace else I can go to where maybe I can squirm and slime my way in. He writes, I just spoke with Alex Hattie, and he says I have a good shot today. Oh, did he, Larry? Hey, Larry, I have a question for you. Did he really? Did he really, Larry? Did the full Chowd and the full member of the fam really tell you that you have a good shot?
Alex!
Because you know what? If he did, he lied out his ass. You know why, Larry? Because I'm the one that makes the decision. Hattie can tell you whatever he's telling you. Maybe he's just humoring you. Maybe he just wants to make you feel good. I don't know, Larry. Weirdly, maybe he likes you. But you're not getting on the air without my say-so, my dude. So, why? Really, Larry? Larry, what else? What else have you been told, Larry? Did Alex Hart? Hey, Larry, did Alex tell you that you're going to host the show the next time I go on vacation? Did he tell you that?
Do.
Hey, I got one for you, Larry. Did Alex Hattie call you the reigning smack-off champ? Did he do that? Did he say that you're the greatest caller in the history of the program? Hey, Larry, did he tell you you make it better? That the show is always better when you get on? Because that'd be funny because you never get on. So if you never get on, how is it that you, quote, have a good shot at getting on today? Why, because you're the first one through? Larry, I have a question. You have a good shot today. Why? Why is today any different than any other day? Because we don't have enough to do? Why? Because Hattie said so?
Alex!
What if Hattie, instead of telling you you had a good shot today, told you to go jump off a bridge? Would you? What if Hattie said, hey, you know what's a good idea, Larry? Go play on the freeway. Would you do that? Yeah, but okay, Larry. You just believe what you want to believe or believe what you think you heard. Sure enough, Larry, you have a good shot at getting on today. Larry, let me tell you what's going on the other show that's going on during this show. Larry's in chat saying, hey, I'm going to get on. I'm on hold, everybody. I'm on hold, everybody. Now Larry has an audience. Not the actual audience that he wants, but the smaller audience, which is chat. Which is still a good-sized audience, but not as good as, my audience. You got that, Larry? Your audience is not as big as my audience. But Larry's still holding court with his audience saying, hey, everybody, I'm on hold. I'm on hold. And then Larry's got 3 or 4 dudes that are going like, yeah, man, come on, Rome, put him on. And then the other part of chat's like, Rome, man, do not put him on. If you want me to stay here, Rome, you will not put him on. And then Larry comes in with some lie like, well, Hardy says I got a good shot. Well, if that's what Hardy says, sure enough, Larry, 1-800-636-8686. Like this guy, Kenneth, Larry, wants you, quote, Orsoned from the chat. That's a great verb, Orsoned. He wants you Orsoned. And I like the way he put it in caps. Larry should be Orsoned from the chat, as in Orson Welles. Remember Orson Welles? Banned from the show. That's Welles in the 720. Banned from the show. And then somebody, because he's fat, hit him with Orson Welles. And then this guy just turned it into a verb, Orsoned. Larry, careful. Careful, Larry. Do not infect the chat the way you've infected the show. I don't want the chat having its version of explosive diarrhea from you becoming a parasite within the chat. But you know what, Larry? Much like LeBron, you just got a lot of attention, and I know that's what you want. You're just not getting on the air.
Diarrhea doesn't care who the hell.
I mean, damn, you're making me late for Jamal Mosley. Let's get out. I'll be right this second. Jamal Mosley when we come back.
You're listening to The Jim Rome Show.
That's true. Welcome back. I am Jim Rome. I am always, if you're on hold, stay there. I am always pumped for this conversation. We are joined right now by the head coach of the New Orleans Pelicans. He's entering his first season there after being hired on May 18th. He was the head coach of the Orlando Magic for the past 5 years. He led the Magic to 3 straight playoff appearances and a pair of Southeast Division titles. We are joined right now by Jamal Mosley. Jamal, always great to rap with you. Jamal, what's going on, dude? How you feeling?
I'm great. How you doing, Jim? It's always great to talk to you.
So good to see you. Appreciate you very much. All right, so after parting ways with the Magic, you quickly agreed to become the head coach of the Pelicans. Let me ask you this. After 5 years with the Magic, where were you at mentally? For instance, did you think about taking a step back and kind of looking for the next move on the chessboard? Or did you not need that time, and were you looking to jump back in and challenge something or attack the next challenge immediately?
Oh, I thought about taking some time away, just reflecting on the 5 years being in Orlando, the people, the culture we created. It was talking to Joe D and then talking to Miss Benson and then Joe with Jordan and Troy. There was just such a immediate fit and alignment with what they were building and continuing to build, down in New Orleans.
All right, so that's something interesting. I was going to get there, but you beat me to it. So alignment. I was going to ask about alignment, and you mentioned Joe D, and Joe D is Joe Dumars. For franchises, obviously good ones, they have great alignment, right? Alignment between the head coach and the players, alignment between the head coach and the front office. How much of the appeal for you and this opportunity was Joe Dumars and working with him?
I mean, that was it. Getting on the phone with him and sitting in front of him, just talking about like his leadership style, the vision that he has for the organization, for the city, the community. It's just incredible. Just the ability to how you treat people, the way you show up every day, the communication you have as an organization has just been absolutely fantastic.
Jamal Mosley is joining us. Jamal, let me ask you about your culture. Like every coach is talking about culture. Does your culture, yours, does it travel? In other words, are you looking to build a very similar culture to the one you had in Orlando, or do you make tweaks and changes for a new team and a new situation?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I mean, that's the difference in like culture and playing style. I think culture is the people that you have in that building. I brought a majority of my staff with me because they understand it's about the people that you have around you. And how you treat people every single day, the work ethic that you have, and what you're trying to build is something bigger than you. So what we did in Orlando, I think it does transfer over to what we're doing in New Orleans because of what we're talking about and the people we're bringing in and how we want to go about approaching each and every single day with our work ethic, our mentality, our focus level, and just the what we're trying to do in the community and on the court.
All right, so if you like that question, I like your answer even better, that there's culture and then there's playing style. What about playing style? So is the playing style going to be based on the roster you have? What will that team look like? What kind of playing style are we talking about now?
Well, we've talked about the defense being the anchor of all of it. Always being a coach and the focus level that defense travels. I don't want to get it, misconstrued that offensively, this team was pretty good last year down in New Orleans. I think they did a lot of great things. So being able to, piggyback off of that, but then adding the defensive component to it, that we attack downhill, but we're doing it off of getting stops, being able to create defensive disruption night in and night out, and that being able to create our offense.
We're talking to Jamal Mosley, Pelicans head coach. So let's talk about some of your guys then. So you're going to connect. You're going to obviously look to connect with all of your players. That's critical, but especially your star players. What types of things have you been talking to Zion Williamson about? And then how would you describe where his head and his game are at right now? Because after all, he's still only 26.
Yeah, Zion's been fantastic. We connected a lot of the guys, majority of the guys we connected in Vegas. They came out, did a workout together, got on the field. Our veteran and DeAndre Jordan helped organize a lot of that. But it's been great. Zion's been fantastic. Been in the weight room with him, been on the court with him, FaceTimed him. We talk about different concepts, different schemes, but he's been absolutely fantastic with his mentality walking into this summer and walking into this year.
All right, so DeAndre, since you mentioned him, what's it like having a guy like that around who, at 37, has pretty much seen and done almost everything? How much does he have to offer both on the floor and in the locker room?
Yeah, I think it goes back to, like we said, being able to have the workouts in Vegas that he had a bunch of the guys at. I think it says so much about what a veteran can do. And I think the missing out on veterans in the locker room is huge because guys will listen to the coach's voice to a degree and what we're trying to put out there. But when you have a guy that's been through it, seen it, can teach these young guys what it takes with a work ethic, the professionalism that you have to have, it means a lot more coming from that locker room. And he's also a guy that's going to continue to connect people.
Yeah, Jamal, you mentioned workouts a couple of times and DeAndre setting up those workouts. You know what he said? He said that your approach is, quote, super hands-on, end of quote, and that you lift and do cardio with the team. Listen, as the head coach, I know you're going to get it in. You're going to get your work in. I get that. But why is it important for you to actually do that work with the team when you do it?
It's how I came into the game. My mentor, Tim Gergerich, it was about being on the floor with those guys, the sweat equity that you build, the trust factor that you build, and you do it now in June and July, and it means something now when you're going through the battles in January and on a random Tuesday. You can go back to the work that you've done with these guys, and I've always said I'm not going to ask you guys to do anything that I wouldn't be willing to do myself, because that's how teams and partnerships and how organizations are built when the lead can also do the things that the guys are doing. Now, mind you, I'm not running around and dunking anymore. And I can defend a little bit, but I'll do as much as I can at the age I am to help these guys understand exactly what we need to do to get to the next level.
Hey, Jamal, we all pick our spots at this age, right? Jamal Mosley joining us. You mentioned Tim Gergerich. I don't want to be redundant, but that takes me back. I get kind of nostalgic myself because I'm a big West guy, and I went to UC Santa Barbara, and UCSB had their epic battles with UNLV, and it's some of my favorite times ever. And Gerg was Tark's right-hand guy, and I'll never forget, man, the running Rebs and that amoeba defense. And people who know Gerg was a legend. How did he mentor you? What did he mean to you? What did you learn from him?
He means everything to me. I was just being in Vegas. He's put his camp back together with just getting guys in the gym and just going from the ground up of what it means to have the fundamentals of the game, the work ethic of the game, the care factor for the guys that you're working with night in and night out. And he was absolutely incredible in what it was for me to be able to go into the coaching world. He taught me the ins and the outs, the relationships you have to have, that just changed the way that you can approach these guys every single day.
Jamal, in terms of relationships, like it's such a tough business. And how fine of a line is there between you want to be connected, you have to connect with your players, but at the same time, you've got to maintain some separation, right? As head coach, how fine a line is that? How do you approach that?
You treat it, everybody, you meet them where they are. I think that's so important. You meet people where they are. You talk about having a relationship and wanting to know and get to know guys and what they're about and what they want to accomplish in their career. But as an organization, you also have to have a standard of what you're going to do night in and night out. So the relationship can be there, but you also have a standard of where you're trying to approach the game and what you're trying to do professionally. But in order to have, that professional level, you have to have some form of care of who you're working with night in and night out.
Got a couple more minutes with Jamal Mosley, his Pelicans head coach. The NBA is so interesting right now, right? Like, you've been around a long time, so like, you go back, the dynasties used to dominate the day, right? You had the Celtics back in the day, then you had the Lakers, the Bulls, most recently the Warriors. Now, what do you make? And this is an amazing stat that I think fans forget. The last 8 years, there have been 8 different champions. I mean, that's a crazy amount of parity. What do you make of that?
It's funny you just said that. I just put that on our team group text. 8 different champions in 8 years. And it just says that the way the league is going is that there's an opportunity. If you can get your team together the right way, to play the right way with each other, for something bigger than you give yourself a chance night in and night out. I think that's what it means for us, especially, coming in as new, is that the more we can do things together, the more we can build, the better chance we have, in this league.
Let me ask you about one more guy, and I can talk about anybody on the roster, but one guy I want to ask you about is Trey Murphy III. He was 22-6 last year. Do you think he gets the national attention that he deserves for that high-level 3-and-D skill set that he has?
I think he does an unbelievable job. I just actually FaceTimed him today and just having a conversation about him, giving him a hard time about working out. And he said he had just finished working out in the gym. But the ability that he has, both defensively and to space the floor the right way, he adds such a great dynamic to our team. And I think it's just going to be special for him, to continue to work with this group.
You mentioned you were giving him a hard time about working out, probably knowing that he was working out, but how concerned are you about what your guys are doing? Are you checking on your guys every single day? Like this time of year, how do you approach that?
Yeah, I think it's just constant conversations. I've FaceTimed, DeAndre, Zion, Jay Fears, DQ, getting with these guys, just not having to necessarily check on them, but they understand the workload that it's going to take to go into this year. And each one of these guys that we've talked to and communicated with, DeJounte as well, these guys are all working. They have a professional routine, and we've talked about it even going into the season and getting in front of each one of these guys of what's it going to take this year in order to be successful.
Can't wait to see it. He is the head coach of the New Orleans Pelicans. He had been with the Orlando Magic for the last 5 years. Jamal Mosley, my guest. Jamal, great to see you, man. I appreciate the friendship, the relationship. Always good to have you on the show. Thanks so much for making time.
Love talking to you every time. I appreciate you so much for having me on.
You too. Appreciate you, Jamal. Thank you very much. Jamal Mosley. Definitely appreciate him. You know what I appreciate? For instance, the Orlando Magic obviously are a big jungle team. And then Jamal moves on to the next thing, and bam, as soon as we ask, there he is. He's a good friend of the program. Good stuff. Appreciate you, Jamal. Thank you very much. And, the team that he inherits there, the thing that I did not mention, in 2024, the Pelicans won 49 games. The Orlando Magic team that he inherited won 21 games. So a very different type of roster, a very different type of situation. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that goes. All right, so we get ready for hour number 2, 1-800-636-8686. You can call the program. I know a lot of you don't call anymore, but you can. It's not even me. It's just talk radio. But again, it's not a talk radio show. It is a radio show, but it's a TV show. It's both. It just depends where you find the show and how you consume it. Coming up also next hour, Duke head football coach Manny Diaz. Don't forget, they won the ACC championship last year. Remember how wild that was in the ACC last year? How jammed up that was? How many teams were there? Manny Diaz joins us. That's coming up at 1:20. Alvy will have his week that was, now number 3. And I've got some more things. Interesting things, fun things. A wild thing that hit my feed that I'm still trying to decide whether or not it's fake or if it's not. I'm actually going to ask you clones for your help. You can help me decide, fake or real. Stay tuned. Damn, Alex Hattie, why are you flying around the CR? Must be getting Parody Larry ready for his call. Yeah, Larry, that's not happening. All right, so welcome back, or welcome to, good afternoon. I am in Southern California. I am Jim Rome. This is the Jim Rome Show, presented by FanDuel. My thanks to my pals at FanDuel. Already in the FanDuel Predicts app. I have been this morning. I am every single day. You know I love that. There's no way we can do what we do without them. So my thanks to FanDuel and our partners there. All right, so we start hour number 2. I've got Manny Diaz coming up. He is the Duke head football coach. That's 20 minutes from right now. You know, I would never turn this show into an all YouTube chat reaction show. But like I always say, we're very democratic around here. Best content gets on the air. Best content gets on the air. I don't care where it comes from. Phones, X, email, chat. And right now, the best content that's not coming out of my face is coming from the chat. Matt Bogart, 6882, quote, Jamal Mosley, class act. Concur. This dude. Pixel Clown, 2635. Mosley is fantastic. Concur. Dear Rome, the Pelicans picking up Mosley is a steal. He was thrown under the bus at Orlando when he really built a strong base at that organization. I look forward to him making New Orleans relevant again. It would be great to go to the NOLA and get to watch a great NBA game. Scott in North Carolina. Again, concur. Mikey Soriano. Good convo with Coach Mosley. Do you think Coach will get Zion on the Zempic? Whatever it takes. And then just people talking about the thing. Cincy Kid 8000, quote, this chat is rocking. It is. I know it is. And this is just the part that I'm putting on the air. There's a lot of that chat that is just smoking that's not getting on the air because it's too hot to get on the air. It is. The chat is a blast. This guy points out kind of what I'm trying to say. The my bad. Theat 21. You gotta understand, like, some of the handles on the chat are pretty hard to figure out. They're different. It's a different animal. This guy writes, the NBA, the media, and everyone needs to just ignore LeBron's attention-seeking antics. Just make the schedule, go about your business, act like he doesn't exist. He would be so pissed. I mean, yes. But the fact is, they can't make the schedule without LeBron. Sad but true. I mean, it's sad but true. Believe me, if they could, they would. If Powder could, he would. That's why. You think Powder's happy about that? I think that Powder likes the drama, and I think Powder likes the conversation about the NBA, but I don't think Powder likes that. I think Powder would like his schedule. When Powder says, I need an answer, he's not doing it to kind of play along and be in on the joke. He actually needs an answer because where LeBron ends up, look, LeBron is still really compelling. He's still a big bag, but he's still really compelling, and he's still a great player. And we kind of do need to know where he's going to end up. It's going to be interesting wherever he ends up, no matter what. If he ends up with Golden State, that's fun, right? If he ends up with Miami, that's interesting. If he ends up with the 76ers, that probably gives them their best chance of winning. If he goes back to Cleveland, that's something. But the league does need to know. So it's not as easy as just make the schedule and ignore the guy. Even me, I've done everything in my power to ignore the guy. I do not want to give this guy what he wants, the oxygen that is attention, and even I can't do it. This guy writes, this is Rodney Jerry, 184. Hey, Rome Star, you already did LeBron. If you do soccer, you might as well do the trifecta of Radio Armageddon and put Parody Larry on. Hashtag, just saying. Hashtag, time to cry. That would be the trifecta of Radio Armageddon. The three things that I woke up this morning, the first three things that hit my mind when I woke up this morning, things that I do not want to do. See, normally I wake up in the morning, what do I have to get done? What do I want to get done? What do I need to get done? What's going to make me better today? What are those things that maybe I don't want to do that I need to do? And that's how my mind normally works. Except today I woke up and I thought, all right, bam. What are the 3 things that I do not want to do today? What are the 3 things that I will not do today? 1, talk about LeBron. 2, talk about soccer. 3, put Parody Larry on the air. I'm not even kidding. Those were the 3 things that when my feet hit the ground, I will not do. Non-negotiables. And what have I done? I've already talked about LeBron. It's one of those things too. For instance, if you wake up and you hit snooze, that's an L. You've started your day with an L. And then if you lose when you start the day, it's so easy for the mind to go, already lost. Screw it. Now I'm going to have a donut. Already had a donut. Now I'm going to slack when I get to work and have pizza for lunch. This is why you don't want to start your day with an L. So what did I do? I started my day with 3 things on my list that I would not do, and I did one already. And I'm basically halfway to Parody Larry. All right, so what do? You reset yourself. You get back on path. I am not going to do the trifecta of Radio Armageddon. Not doing it. Jazz 2030 champion, still on the chat. This is all chat. Been on the radio for a few years. First time tuning into YouTube. Good to see the crew for the first time and them singing their hearts out. Incredible. Hey, Tommy, how funny is that? This guy's never seen the crew.
What up, chat?
What up, chat?
That's Alvin. I'm Tom. That's Alex.
That's
and you
Alex
can't
Addy.
see the XCR because their cameras
Isn't that so funny?
indefinitely
We've been on
permanently
TV
broken.
every day. We've been on TV every day for years, and that guy just said, this is the first time I've ever seen the crew.
That's true. And you got plenty of control room shots every day on TV for years.
It's a wild time, man.
It's a wild time.
It's a wild time. It's a wild time.
Loving chat, though.
Love the
They're
chat.
doing an amazing job every day. In fact, sometimes they just start talking to themselves and each other, and they have their own conversations and debates. And
They're
then-
having their own show.
Yeah, and then Larry bombs in and lets everyone know he's still on hold.
I have a question. Chat's different, obviously. The platform's different. Was there very much of that in your mind on X? Obviously, it doesn't scroll and move in the same way.
It's all about the pace. Yes, there's high volume on X, but the pace is just different. So there's even higher volume on chat, and it's easier to fire off quick chats than it is quick posts on X, and you don't really use X like that. X is kind of like, here's my post that I considered.
It's a different kind of conversation.
It's a different kind of thing, whereas chat's just rapid fire and kind of stream of thought. And if you want, I'm not saying spam the chat, but if you want to post, 50 times during the course of the show, there's nothing stopping you from doing that.
There's nothing. I've never been able to do anything to stop any of you from doing whatever you want to do.
That's true.
But you know what it's like? It's just, it's multi-dimensional, right? There's terrestrial radio, there's satellite radio, there's YouTube, there's our 8 platforms on the Rome TV channel, and a chat platform.
And there's different speeds of interacting with the show. Like if you just want to type out a smart, snappy email and leave it at that, and that's your one thing you're contributing to the show.
The next time that happens will be the first time.
Right,
but what are these smart,
just saying they have the
emails
option
you speak of? I've
just
never
saying
seen
they
one.
have the option. One day, one of them will come in.
Okay.
But if you just wanted to participate like that, one good snappy email, you can. If you want to be on X and send a couple posts over the course of the day, you can do that. Or if you want to be in chat and post 75 times, you can do that. It's like, so whatever your level is. That
Pick a room.
Exactly.
Pick a
and
room.
you can still call, by the way. Please do. We will put you on. So if you want to call and talk directly to Jim, you can do that too.
There you go. Thank you very much, Tommy. I made the point that when we started YouTube in the chat, I wanted to make sure that you all knew that if you didn't want to go over there, if that's not where you live and that's not what you do, I'm not leaving you behind. I'm not forgetting about you. I'm just saying this is part of the evolution. This is the new thing. So this is why we're talking about this. And for the record, the chat's really good in terms of content. Really good. They're playing the game at a different speed, and they're adjusting to the speed. Hey, if you don't mind, XCR, can you throw those platforms on the screen one more time? Thank you very much. You can actually watch this show on the following platforms for free. YouTube, on our channel, Prime Video, Roku, TCL, DirecTV, Plex, Samsung TV Plus, Vizio, LG. These are monster platforms. So if you prefer to watch the show on any of those, go ahead and do that. YouTube is the only thing that has chat, though. This guy, again, why is it always about my shirt? This guy writes, Romy's shirt looks like something out of Logan's Run. Is that the inspiration for Logan's first name? Well, let's see.
Rogan Lowe.
Let's do the math. I've had this sweater maybe a year, and I've had Logan maybe 21 years. No,
I'm doing the Alfredo.
that's not the inspiration for his name. But as I've told you before, the inspiration for his name, really quickly, I named Jake, and I wanted to name Logan because Jano's names, no offense, luckily she's in the air, she can't hear this. Her names were not good names. And I'm like, no, we have to agree. We'd get out the book of names for kids. We would take rides, long car rides. We couldn't agree on Logan's name. We just couldn't. We couldn't. And I couldn't acquiesce because her suggestions were that bad. Like, I kind of just wanted to give it and say, all right, I named Jake, so you take the next one. But then I thought, the kid is going to have that name forever. So no, we're not going to name the kid Tristan. No offense, Tristan. For any of you named Tristan, no offense, but that was a big name back then. That was a year when there were a lot of Tristan-like names. I'm like, no. And Janet kept making these recommendations. I'm like, no. And then finally she says, Logan. I'm like, yes, that. Logan works. Logan, I knew it wasn't going to get any better than that. But I mean, she had all these names that were just like, it didn't work. And then she called, we had to make a doctor's appointment for Logan early on. And one of the receptionists said, and what time will you be bringing your daughter in? I'm like, oh! Our daughter, Logan. Okay. Anyway, good. The name works both ways. Great. We're good. Logan's Run. Let's see. My shirt? A little bit. I don't have the belt. I don't have the hottie on my arm. I don't have the weapon. Don't have the stripes. Don't have the collar. Don't really have that dude's look. Yeah, but I see it. I see a little bit. All right. But no, that's not where that came from. Amber. All right, so Amber's a great example. Amber is somebody who has participated on all the various engagement platforms. She's been on X, she's been on the phones, she's been on email, she's now in chat. Her opinion matters because she's done all the above. Quote, the chat on YouTube is so much better than X. I love the show on YouTube and being able to chat with other clones. Well, not all, but most. All right, that's a straight take. That's really interesting. And no offense to you clones that are going to take offense to this. Her opinion matters to me. You know why? She's smart. She's good at the show. And she engages on all the platforms. And one more as I go to break. PJ in the Mile High. LeBag is the one friend in the friend group who no one wants to come to gatherings but comes anyhow. Never gets it that no one likes him. People actually do like him, but a lot of people don't. And the reason a lot of people don't is because of, how do I put this? He's a bag. And it's on full display right now. He's at the peak of his baggery right now, and he's having the time of his life. It's his oxygen. Breathing into that bag, you know, like, it's his oxygen. But it's an actual bag, and he is a bag. Like, dude, why do you need to do this? Why are you not above this? But you're not. When we come back, Manny Diaz joins us. In fact, I'm getting into a bad habit of being late for guests, so let's get out right now, Avi. Thank you. Do you want to sleep better? And believe me, this has never been more important. I just mentioned to you, I'm essentially sleeping in an oven, or I would be if not for my ghost bed. Listen, you can't work or train or think or golf or perform or recover if you're waking up wrecked. This is why Ghost Bed makes so much sense to me. Believe me, I'm a hot sleeper, now more than ever, because it is hot. It's summer. So GhostBed's cooling technology really got my attention. It helps keep the heat from getting trapped underneath you, so you sleep cooler and you wake up ready to go. Hot sleepers are some of GhostBed's happiest customers. But GhostBed is not just about cooling, it's also built for rest support. Your back, your hips, your shoulders, your neck, so your body can rest and recover overnight. That's the whole point. You should not wake up feeling like you fought your mattress all night long. And with GhostBed's 101 night sleep trial, you don't have to guess. You can literally sleep on it for more than 3 months and decide if it is in fact right for you. Right now, you clones can get GhostBed's lowest prices of the season and an additional 10% off. All you have to do is go to ghostbed.com/Rome. Use my promo code ROME. If you want that discount, you got to use the promo code. ghostbed.com/Rome, promo code ROME, ROME.
You're listening to The Jim Rome Show.
Welcome back, Jim Rome in Southern California. Hey, listen, y'all keep doing what you're doing. Y'all keep doing what you're doing. Myself, I'm going to take a few moments and I'm going to talk some Duke football because we are joined right now by the head football coach at Duke. He's entering his third season there. Blue Devils coming off a big year, 9-5 last year. They won the ACC championship. They won the Sun Bowl. He also had been the head coach at Miami, as well as the D coordinator at Penn State, Mississippi State, and Texas too. Duke is going to open up their season against Tulane on September 5th. Of course, I'm talking about Manny Diaz. Manny, thanks for making time. Great to have you on. How you doing, Manny?
I'm doing outstanding. Boy, that shot of the beach was nice to see. That was making me jealous.
SoCal, yo, dude, that's how it is every single day, almost every single day. But you're not in a bad place yourself. Listen, let me ask you, you've been attending conference media days for a long time now. So how did it feel to be introduced today as the head coach of the defending conference champs after Duke won the ACC for the first time since 1962?
It sounded damn good. And it shows a little bit of the folly of the preseason and the expectations and the polls. And I don't know if anybody was picking us to win it a year ago and picking some of our top players a year ago to win, all conference as they did. But our guys stuck together. They did the right thing, and we were the ones standing at the end. So really proud of that. And we get a chance to go again now.
Manny Diaz joining us. So, Manny, what about the summer? Every single year is different. We can get into that. We know about the landscape. Everything changes. How has this summer gone, and how do you feel about what you've seen and what you have right now?
So Duke guys need evidence, right? They don't want to hear stories. They don't want to hear about feelings or whatever. They want evidence. We were the fastest and strongest team a year ago that Duke had. We are faster and stronger now. We have 11 guys that run 22 miles an hour. We had 5 a year ago. I think we have 67 guys that run 20 miles an hour total. That's almost 2/3 of our team. We were in the upper 50s a year ago. So, we're actually stronger in the bench clean and in the squat. So, those are the things that let our guys know that the process works. It develops them. Now, look, we have to go play football, right? We're not in an Ironman competition or in a relay race. But it lets our guys know that they are developing, they are maximizing their potential. That's how we did it in the past. The recipe is there. And now with the championship, there's proof of concept that it does work.
Manny Diaz joining us. So if you've got 11 guys that can run 22 miles per hour, hey, Manny, if they put a clock on you, how fast could you go at this point?
Only if I was being thrown down a cliff would I be anywhere near 20 miles an hour. The question would be, how fast would my hamstrings snap into half? I think that's the real answer we're looking for.
That's the truth. So let me ask you this. So the roster turns over. You've got a question under center right now, of course, with the transfer of Darian Mensah. What about the way that's playing out? You've got Walker Egan coming in this summer, the San Jose State transfer. What are you specifically looking for in a quarterback generally? And then how is that competition shaping up?
Well, Walker Egan and Dan Mahan, our redshirt freshmen, will be the competition. When we were on the market for a quarterback, they were all pretty much taken. And really the only reason why someone of Walker's pedigree was available is he was stuck in an eligibility case. But 5,000 yards at San Jose the last 2 years is an extraordinary amount of production for it to be available. He's rehabbing off an injury. We expect him to be fully ready when the time we're ready to go for the season. And then getting him in our program, getting to know who he is. Very, very diligent, almost like a coach on the field, hard worker, fits in with our locker room, fits in with our guys. And then everybody on the roster believes in Dan, and Dan's got a big time future too, just needs experience. So we'll have the two of them compete in August, but we know we've got a guy that's done it and a guy that has got a lot of potential.
Manny, to that point, like, I don't want to get too much stuck in the minutia of this or, this is not what the fans want to hear, but it is the reality, right? The business of the business. You talked about him being stuck in an eligibility case. Then in the case of Darian Mensah, you had him in a settlement that allowed him to move on. You talked about this. For the business to move and process as efficiently as it possibly can, do you feel like these guardrails that need to be in place are being put in place? Are we making progress? Where does that stand overall for the sport?
Not nearly enough. And I know everybody's sick of hearing it, and it sucks because the game is good, right? But everything other than the game kind of stinks right now. And the issue is we can't agree on what's best because we're all competing, right? And no one's really in charge, and so everybody wants what's best for them, and we're not collaborating as what's best for the game. And I do think of the fan you're talking about. I think about the 12-year-old kid who, like, when we were 12 and we fell in love with the sport, the games are good, but there's all this other stuff, and it's just not the same. And I worry that if we continue to screw this up, we're going to alienate our next generation of fans.
What about, did you see the statement that Brent Key made earlier today, Georgia Tech head coach, when he said, hey, look, man, it's like we keep talking about the players. The players are different. The players are different. He said, what about the adults in the room? Check this out really quickly, if you don't mind.
The same guys that want to complain about a lot of the things in college football need to look themselves in the mirror. They're the ones jumping jobs every 2 years, too. Let's be real. The adults in the room sometimes end up being the bigger problem.
What is your reaction to that?
Well, I do think adults screw things up all the time. But what adults live with contracts, right? And adults live with consequences. And I think what we're just saying is, look, you can't have it both ways, right? If you want to be compensated, if you want to be a business, you want to be grown-ups, then you have to honor your contract. If you don't honor your contract, then there's going to be consequences. And that was certainly what surrounded our situation. And there's a way to do that. Listen, we don't have to invent it in college football, right? All the pro sports have already been through this. There's already a system in place. We just need to get together and just agree which is the best one that fits our game.
We're talking to Duke head coach Manny Diaz. I appreciate the transparency. Manny, when you made the point that, look, we got to find out who's in charge. Like, who should be in charge?
Well, that's the whole idea, right? I mean, and right now, are we depending on Congress? You know, there's a bill obviously going through there because at least they've got the weight to make it the law of the land. I just think we have seen it if we have tried to do it a la carte, which each conference trying to have their say. I don't think we're ever going to come to any type of consensus. We know we don't have a commissioner over the sport. So in a weird way, you know, going to DC and asking them to save us is quite extraordinary, but I don't really know what other options we have.
I think that's fair. All right, so back to ball for a minute. So we talked about your quarterback situation. Whoever ends up being your quarterback, you've got a pretty nice running back to hand the ball to in Nate Shepard, coming off a freshman year where he had over 1,000 yards rushing. Manny, 11 touchdowns. How much better do you expect him to be in his second season with that experience under his belt?
Yeah, he wants to be better, and I think he's worked towards that. He's bigger and stronger. He wanted to, you know, we had a great short yardage back a year ago. Anderson Castle, who scored over double-digit touchdowns. Nate wants those touchdowns in it. So he's got explosive potential, which is why he's elite, because explosive plays win games. But he also wants to be that third and one, fourth and one goal line back as well and put up a big number of touchdowns. So we will feature him. When we were at our best a year ago, we really featured our offense around Nate, and we'll build it the same way. People will defend us differently early on, but that'll also open up things in our passing game.
All right, so the one thing we haven't talked about, the other side of the ball. Listen, when I think about you, when I think most people think about you, we're thinking about a defense that's going to be aggressive. It's going to be physical. You're going to have guys flying to the ball. What is your outlook on that side of the ball, especially led by a linebacker in Luke Murgott, who had picks in the ACC Championship and the Sun Bowl, which helped seal both those wins?
Yeah, we were really disappointed in how we played defense a year ago. We played really good on defense in 24, took a major step back last year. Urgency is the buzzword. We just were not urgent. A little bit entitlement that seeped into the room. We've got competition all over the field. We feel really good about our depth, the two deep. You mentioned Luke Murgott, but we get Nick Morris back from a season-ending injury a year ago. We don't have a guy that knows he's a starter right now, and that's not because we're lack of talent. We've got talent, but we've got a two deep that really the best coach in the world. This count.
Manny's frozen, but my head's still moving around. I just want to see who it was, me or him. He'll be back in a minute. My head's moving. I still have movement. I just want to test if we were all frozen. Tron was frozen, or if Manny was, or just me. I'm talking to Manny Diaz. It's too bad that he's frozen because he was rolling. I'm Jim Rome. I'm live. I'm in SoCal. I'm talking to Duke head coach, or I was talking to Duke head coach Manny Diaz.
Rolling.
Hey, Manny, you back? Nope. He may have lost that. He may have froze up on me. He was rolling, too. And I had a good follow. I had a good question I wanted to ask him. All right, I'm gonna give that one more chance. We've covered a lot of ground already with him. If I can't get that back, I'm gonna keep moving. I want to thank Manny Diaz and Duke ACC Media Days. They are efforting. They're not giving up on it.
Does
my man look like he would give up and not finish what he started? He's back! Manny, thanks for hanging in there. I appreciate that. You're a good man.
Yeah.
You know, when you said, listen, we were complacent on defense, that was a really honest answer. I want to ask you something. As a leader of any organization, if you and this applies to anything, what I do, what you do, any business, if you see complacency setting in, What did you do? Did you try to do something to reverse it? Once it starts going that way, does inertia kick in? Like, what happened? No! He's frozen again. As much as this song is an absolute banger, we don't want to hear it because it signifies that we lost our guest. Or I have a theory. What if Manny's like, you know what? I don't like that line of questioning. I'm just going to pretend like I'm frozen.
Oh,
there you go.
It says, we back.
We back. So when when complacency kicks in as the leader, if you see it, what do you do about that? Or is it inertia and it's hard to reverse once it's there?
It's a really good question, Jim. It is hard to reverse once you're in season. And if you don't see the signs in training camp, or if you don't believe the signs, and I think that's sometimes a problem. You might see things, but guys who have performed in games, and as coaches, we're all guilty of it. You might say, that's fine. He's performed. He'll do it when it comes to game day. And look, success is really hard. There's a lot of books in the bookstore about how to deal with adversity. There's very few on how to deal with success. And especially now when guys are getting blessed with the NIL and whatever. And you may not get the same version of a guy that you thought you had a year ago. So I think it was a great learning experience for all of us on our staff. You got to believe what you see in training camp, and you can't let the standard drift.
I think that's so interesting what you just said. Number one, you can't let the standard drift. The standard has to be the standard. Man, really quickly, that point about adversity and success. There's a lot of books on how to deal with adversity, but not books on how to deal with success. Let me ask you something I've asked before, but what is more concerning? Your players being told how awesome they are, or your players being told how much they suck?
It's funny. It's definitely awesome. We're way, way better with a chip on our shoulder. And really, if we didn't have the turnover, that would have been the big challenge, right? Duke has never really come into an ACC season as a Hunt Ed. When we had our turbulence, we immediately went back to having the chip on our shoulder. We're ranked, to finish 24th in our conference out of 17 teams. So the chip is back. And I think that it does fuel our guys who generally feel like they've been under-recruited, undervalued, and love to prove people wrong.
All right, so the one thing you do have, I would imagine throughout the offseason you could say, hey, listen, that opener, that's a big one. That's a big one. They're all big, but you have their attention in the sense that you have Tulane. I love that matchup. They're coming off a college football playoff appearance. They've got a new head coach and offensive coordinator, Will Hall, who got promoted. What about that matchup? You're thinking about a lot of things, but what are you expecting from them after John Summerall has moved on?
Well, we saw from him a year ago, it's a program that expects to win and knows how to win, no matter who the head coach is. They played very well that night and deserved to beat us. We played very, very poorly that night. And so I know that's one that it won't take a big speech before the game. Our guys will be highly motivated, but they will as well, right? So, you're going to have to play well to beat them. And that's the type of challenge we want. I think to your point, that's going to really set the tone for August because they know we don't have we can't put our toe in the shallow end of the pool. We got to be ready to go. And we go to Illinois the following week, another team that got us a year ago. So there's some hitless games, as we like to call them, and to get us going.
Hey, Manny, one last thought. The ACC, you know it as well as anybody, based on your time at Miami, now your time at Duke. Man, what a wild year that was last year. A wild year last year where you had that 5-team tiebreaker, you broke on through, but man, it was tightly bunched. Do you think that was kind of an anomaly and a one-off, or could you see something like that happening again?
That's going to happen all the time, and not just in our league. It's going to happen in every league. The leagues are so big right now, everybody can't play everybody. Everybody can hardly play a few common opponents. So now the bunching up of one or two or lost teams at the top of the league, it comes off as an ACC problem this year. It'll be somebody else next year. And that's why fundamentally we have to expand the playoff because we can't even determine who the top 4 teams are in a conference. How in the world can we determine how the top 12 are in the country?
My guy, after what happened last year, I could see where you would want to expand the playoff. How much do you want to expand the playoff to?
It's got to go to 24. Now, look, I would love it at 12 if we had the conferences we had at 15.
I'm going to try it again.
If we had a Pac-12 in Texas and Oklahoma?
Yeah.
You with me?
Yeah, I got you. Go ahead. You're good.
We here?
Yeah. Finish that thought.
Yeah. I said, I would love to stay at 12. I would love to stay at 12 if we had the old school conferences. It'd have been perfect for like a decade ago. Right. But when you bloat the conferences where you hardly can find out who the conference best team is, you got to have a bigger playoff because otherwise it's going to always get into with this 3-loss team, but be that 2-loss team. You're going to have that argument within leagues, let alone in between leagues.
He is the head football coach at Duke, and never has anybody worked so hard to play through an interview and finish what he started. Manny, appreciate that very, very much, dude. Thanks for staying in that fight. Great to have you on the show. Appreciate the energy, and I appreciate the honesty as always, man. You're great. Good to see you, Manny. Thanks so much.
You got it, man.
All right.
Yep.
Manny Diaz joining us. Love it. Love it. I love the fact that he's also like, nah, screw it. I'm not doing this. Like, after the second or third time, most people be like, peace out. I did my job. I tried.
Now I'm done.
But not Manny. Manny finished what he started and was shot out of a cannon. Always going to talk some college ball. A little ACC ball for you, too. All right, so my thanks to him for fighting through that. Like I said, that's a banger, that song. You just don't want to hear it that much because what that song means is we have somebody who's frozen, lost, dropped. I said for a minute, not that Manny Diaz would ever do this, but wouldn't that be funny that if I were doing a Zoom call with somebody and they didn't like the line of questioning, they just pretended to be frozen? Like, that'd be a great way. Like, hey, how do you feel about this program, and did this program tamper with or poach your program? And what's your reaction to that? Did they? And if they just went, oh, you're frozen. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? And they're just doing this when they're really live. I'm going to try that. Next time I go on somebody's podcast, you're like, hey, Rome, what about that time you said so-and-so? I'm going to do this. Oh, must be some bad Wi-Fi in that studio. Hey, Rome, what about that time you said this? And I'm just going to go, oh, I guess we'll finish this some other time. Okay, damn, that worked. It's a good strategy. It's like that old school thing where I would interview an athlete and they say, I didn't really hear that. Can you repeat the question, please? Oh, no, you heard the question. That was the initial technique back in the day. I didn't hear that. Can you please repeat the question so they can reset themselves and buy more time and think of a way to answer it?
Can you hear me, Juice? Yes, I can hear you, buddy.
No, that's not what that is. That's like, I'm at the pool. I didn't really hear that. Can you repeat that, Rome? Okay. When I knew full well they heard the question. But the 2026 version of that is, with streaming and video, is just the face. Oh, I'm frozen. He's frozen. He can't respond. Yes, I can. I'm just frozen, but not really. Anyway, that's not what he did, clearly, because he answered every question, really honestly. All right, when we come back, I want to talk about something again that hit my feed that I don't know if it's fake or not. And I want it to be real. But again, whenever I see something that seems too funny to be true or too good to be true, I assume fake. So I'm like the reverse. It's a different kind of tinfoil. I'll get to that. Soccer. I mean, again, you know how I said if you start the day with an L, then the rest, you just, it's human nature to give in. All right, I'll try again tomorrow. I'll start over tomorrow. If my goal was to start the day by not talking about LeBron, soccer, or letting Parody Larry on the air, and I've already talked LeBron, shouldn't I just give in and start over again tomorrow? I'm fighting that. All of this still ahead.
You're listening to The Jim Rome Show.
All right, so I want to talk to the tinfoilers because normally I give you dorks a really hard time. But on some level, I actually get you guys more than you think. First of all, I used to love a good conspiracy. But that was before you tinfoilers turned absolutely everything into a conspiracy, and you ruined conspiracies for everybody. Usually, what I'm pushing back on when I'm pushing back on the tinfoilers is this notion that everything is fixed. Every sport is fixed. Every game is fixed. Every match is fixed. Every league is compromised. The smack off is fixed. The YouTube chat is fixed. To these people, everything is fixed. The fix is in on everything. Obviously, tinfoilers, you're incredibly wrong. You can't fix everything. Now, I can't deny my own tinfoil mentality when it comes to certain things. For instance, random videos on the internet. I'm starting to think they're all fake. To me, there are no real videos on the internet anymore. I can hardly even tell if I'm real anymore, which is why. And why do I say this? They're too good to be true. When I see something that is funny or suspicious, I wonder, fake? As an example, I see this hilarious Dwight Howard video hit my timeline this morning. There's way too much going on in this 1-minute clip for it to be real. So I send it to Chalk and I say, dude, what do you think? What do you think? He says, you know what? I think that one actually is legit. I think that is real. So let's go through this together really quickly. First, I want to play it for you and then we can break it down. Roll it.
Who was that?
I was kind of discussing it.
Let me see. Hold on. Look at this, y'all. Look at this.
No, wait. I know Howard, right?
Look at that.
Howard, bro.
Bro, am I not Bam, bro?
Yeah, no, I made a mistake. I was across the street with my dad. I was like, let me see, bro. And let me see, man. Were you listening with the sunshine?
Yeah, man.
Oh, wait, yeah, now I know who you are. It's like across the street.
Across the street, I look like Bam?
Yeah, I know.
I understand. That bitch tall right there. That all the for the hook shot your ass right now. Run the hook your ass. Patrick, you look like Andrew Bynum. That is Andrew Bynum. Oh, Jersey.
Hey, Andrew.
What's up, man?
Hey, Andrew, you from Jersey, right? Yes, sir. You see that? That's all it says. I'm like, that's Andrew Bynum.
You know what that is?
Jersey.
All right, you see what I mean? There's so much going on there, and all of it is funny. First, you have this kid, and he thinks he's meeting Bam at a bayou. And then Dwight Howard is just killing the kid to his face, going, man, you think I'm Bam? You think I'm Bam? And then the kid's trying to defend himself, saying, yeah, well, from across the street, you kind of look like Bam. You look like Bam. And then the kid's in his phone. I know who you are. I know who you are. And Dwight's just pimping the kid. You're like, you really think I'm Bam Adebayo? And then all of a sudden, Dwight suddenly spots some giant walking down the sidewalk, and he's like, quote, that bitch tall right there. He'll run and hook your ass like Patrick Ewing. And then you hear somebody off in the background say, yo, man, that looks like Andrew Bynum. And then Dwight says, damn, that is Andrew Bynum. So you've got some kid randomly running into Dwight Howard on the streets of New York. Howard is killing the poor kid for thinking that he's Bam Adebayo. And then out of nowhere just pops Andrew Bynum on the same street in the same scene. You see what I mean? Way too good to be true. Way too funny to be true. Freaking fake. Fake. But it gets better. Not only do they randomly run into Andrew Bynum, of all people, during this crazy scene, and Dwight Howard's ecstatic to see his boy. He's ecstatic to see Bynum. Bynum happens on this whole scene, barely even looks up from his phone, doesn't even break stride. Big leagues Dwight Howard completely. Doesn't even stop. Doesn't even slow down, doesn't dap him up, doesn't do anything but dunk on him and shatter the backboard. He dunked on him. He dunked on Dwight Howard. Like, I've got no idea what Andrew Bynum, what was so important that he couldn't even slow down to acknowledge a random encounter with Dwight Howard or the little kid even. Just blew right by everybody. Like Dwight Howard couldn't even believe what was going on. His mind was blown. Like, dude, this kid thinks I'm Bam Adebayo. Oh my God, there's Andrew Bynum. This is wild. Even for kooky Dwight, this is wild. And Bynum's like, I mean, look at Dwight. If you're watching the video, he's like, what just happened? What just happened? He's like, dude, that was Bynum? And Bynum's like, whatever, man. He didn't even stop. He didn't even stop. Nothing. Not even a fake bro hug. Nothing. But then again, my man Bynum, you know he's got that in him now. Never forget, he also has one of the most underrated quotes ever when he said back in 2012, in response to trade rumors linking him with other teams, and I quote, "There's a bank in every city, and I'm going to play hard basketball wherever I go, so I'm good," end of quote. That actually is one of my favorite quotes. I'm so glad that there was an Andrew Bynum sighting so I can remember that quote. Quote, when he was a Laker and there was a lot of trade speculation, I'm good. There's a bank in every city. It's a legendary quote, iconic stuff. But I'm just not sure it's as legendary as the time he blew right by Dwight while bringing the backboard down on his head. But what I'm really not sure about is, was that real? Was that real? The whole thing was so bizarre and so hilarious. And my new rule is to assume that whenever I see something that is so bizarre and so hilarious, it can't be true. It's got to be fake. It's got to be fake. If not full AI, then at least staged. For a TV show, for a spot. Like that was way too funny and way too random. Like just Bynum out of nowhere, Dwight out of nowhere, some little kid thinking it's Bam. So you tell me, clones, was that real? Was that a real, authentic, funny moment? I won't even throw my tinfoil hat on and discuss it with you because it made me laugh, but did they hook me? right, so we move into hour number 3, which is always busy on Friday, and it's a good thing. Welcome back. I'm Jim Rome. Good afternoon. So I know I hit that pretty hard and pretty fast at the end of the hour, but I wanted to get that in. And like I said, whenever I see something that's funny and bizarre and different on the internet, I just assume it's fake. And I don't want to be like you conspiracy tinfoilers who think everything is rigged or everything is fixed. Now, I know there's a lot of evidence of things being fixed and rigged. I'm just saying not everything is. I'm not saying that things aren't. I'm not saying things aren't sus. I'm not saying things aren't sketchy. I'm not even saying that things aren't fixed. We've seen people who have been caught fixing or shaving. I'm not saying that doesn't exist. I'm saying not everything is. And when we start talking about how the smack off is fixed, home run derby is fixed, the chat is fixed, this is where I draw the line. But then I say I've got a little bit of that in me, where I'm starting to think not everything is fake, but whenever I see something that's funny, is it fake? So I asked you the question. I played that video of Dwight Howard and the little kid, and then the random cameo of Andrew Bynum, and Bynum couldn't care less, and that made me laugh. But it's got to be fake, right? It's got to be fake. I don't want to be fake, but it's got to be fake. So here's your reaction, really quickly, before I move into other things.
Still real to me, damn it.
At Robert Apache Howarth, quote, I'm not saying it isn't staged, but it's not AI. Exactly. I think that would make some sense. I'm not saying it was staged, but you could clearly see where that might be staged. It's not AI. It's definitely not AI. They didn't AI Dwight Howard into it and Andrew Bynum, but could they have staged it? So let's just talk about that really quickly. Who wins if it's staged? What do you get out of that? Bynum comes off pretty well. The kid is just the kid. And how does Dwight look? I mean, Dwight's kooky as hell anyway. So maybe Dwight did that for engagement. It came off Dwight's feed. So maybe Dwight. Okay, but why Andrew Bynum? That's just so random. Andrew Bynum? My guy Kwame Brown didn't want any of that? But I don't know, maybe Dwight and Bynum are tight like that. Who knows? Who knows, man? People have a lot of time on their hands. And again, listen so carefully. Why does anybody do anything? Why does anybody do anything? I used to say because they can. Why does anybody do anything? Because they can. I changed that. Why does anybody do anything? For clicks. For clicks. So I can see whereby that was staged. I don't know. Let's watch it one more time. Maybe we'll get a different point of view. See, if you're watching on the feed, it's really funny. He takes the kid's phone because the kid's got a picture. This, you know what people do when they see celebrities? They go to their phones. Hey, wait a minute, I think I know who that is. That's Bam Adebayo. Dwight grabs the kid's phone, and the kid's got Bam on his phone. He's like, you think I'm Bam? If you don't mind, XCR, can we roll it just one last time? And let's just see if we think it's staged, fake, or real. Just for fun, one more time.
Who was that?
I was kind of discussing it.
Let me see. Hold on. Look at this, y'all. Look at this.
No, wait. I know Howard, right?
Look at that,
Howard, bro.
Bro, am I not Bam, bro?
I'm not Bam, bro.
I made a mistake. I was on the cross the street with my dad. I was
Bam,
like, let me
bro.
see, bro. And let me see, man. Were you dancing with a Sasha?
Yeah, man.
Bro, yeah, now I know who you are. It's like across the street.
Across the street, I look like Bam?
Yeah, I know.
I understand. That bitch tall right there. That all this for the hook shot your ass right now.
That bitch tall right there. That bitch tall as three.
That's what you look like. If that is Andrew Bynum. Oh, Jersey.
Hey, Andrew, what's up, man? Hey, Andrew, you from Jersey, right? Yes, sir. You see that? That's all it's I'm like, that's Andrew Bynum.
You know what that is? Yeah, Andrew Bynum. Jersey.
All right, so now that I've seen this again, here's where I come out. Staged. I don't know for sure, but I'm going to say staged. Oh, but wait a minute. Eric in the South Side says no. Maybe, wait, hold up now. Eric in the South Side has spoken. Quote, "It's real, Rome. I ran into a colleague randomly in NYC once, had a drink, left him, then bumped into Paul McCartney walking down the street. Anything is possible, brah." Dude, what world do you live in? You have a phone? You ever see anything online? What kind of a story is that? That's just your way. That's your way of telling your Paul McCartney story. It's got nothing to do with anything, Eric. Hey, Eric, thanks for nothing. That does not make anything. That does not make it better or make it work. This guy says what I'm saying. Ref for Life NC, quote, "Anything on social media is mad sus."
For life.
That's where I come out. Exactly. I'm going to say staged. At that dog dude, Dwight would have had him on stream longer if staged. Oh. I don't think you need him longer for it to work. At YJM 123, I don't believe anything I see anymore, but that looked real. Okay, this is really interesting. So I'm looking at like 50-50 reaction. At Vermin Tea Cake, the directing is too purposeful. That's my take. I thought the same exact thing. When I watched it that time, I'm like, the directing is too purposeful. Like, it seemed rehearsed. Even the kid seemed rehearsed. And Dwight's just kind of a kooky clown, and he was just being himself. All right, so anyway, where do you come out? And one more. So Dak Augie's back. Dear Jim, the Open Championship is fixed. Signed Bryson DeChambeau. Bryson. So here's the update on Bryson. So Bryson comes into the tournament. He's not made a cut in the major this year. Liv is unraveling. He's unraveling, except he's killing it on YouTube. So what about Bryson? Sir Nick Faldo is all over him before the tourney, saying, man, this guy just doesn't get it. He doesn't understand links golf. He doesn't have a strategy. And then Bryson comes out and shoots a 367 in the first round. Has a great round. Doesn't talk to the media. And then you're like, all right, maybe he's got a way to change the narrative. Maybe he's got a chip on his shoulder again. Not having a good day. Golf Digest, quote, Bryson DeChambeau has been penalized 2 strokes for improving his lie on the 5th hole during the second round of the Open Championship. He's now 3 shots back of the lead. All right, so things started off really well. Again, just 3 shots back, but a 2-stroke penalty. And how is he going to react to it? Is he going to keep his head? Is he going to keep his composure? Or is he going to lose his mind and do something really regrettable and say something really regrettable? You never know with this guy, right? Public enemy number 1. Then all of a sudden, the people's champion. Then he can't make a cut. Then he goes to Live. Then he goes to YouTube. Who knows with this dude? We'll have to wait and see. Oh, wait. Fee and the Fee is in. Let me stop everything for him. Rome. Here's a serious email from me. Please see the attachment. Oh, okay, V. I bet this is serious. Oh. Code Brown. The diarrhea epidemic. Attention. Who's this from? Oh, the CDC. It's got CDC letterhead. All right, let's see what this says. Attention all employers. We know there's something in that lettuce. All employers, take these precautions in your workplace to avoid getting the liquid ass in your toilet. Number 1, employees must own up to farts. Ditch the you smelt it, you dealt it policy. And admit if you had a butt burp. Farts are an indicator that the diarrhea is coming. Again, this apparently is from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. At least that's what the letterhead says. However, what makes this also sus is it's a code brown. The diarrhea epidemic. Number 2, employers must take an extra roll of toilet paper to the toilet. A major side effect of the diarrhea is the, quote, never-ending wipe, where 1 or 2 wipes can easily turn into 50. I'll be stopped. Number 3, if your office has 1 toilet,
$1 million.
Designate the sink as emergency backup and the trash can as safety in case multiple employees need to rip a brown steak at the same time. Thank you for your compliance. Can I get a camera on Cindy right now? Because I bet she's the only one laughing. And Rex, wherever he is in the ABQ. I would ask Rex what happened to you, but I don't care. Damn, V, got much time on your hands? The guy's plagiarizing and creating false documents from the CDC and submitting them as, quote, serious emails. Please view the attachment. All right, this guy, it's really interesting. I thought you would all. Isn't it funny how the tinfoilers think everything is fake, yet I'm going to say at least 50% of you think that was not staged. D.H. Vargas, 2450, quote, it's not staged. Been a long time, no call, clone listener from the get-go in the early 90s. Finally got my beefs and TY chats read by Rome himself for 3 straight this week. Thanks, Rome. Okay, bro, that's fine, but where's your proof that it's not staged? Or where's your take that it's not staged? Why is it not staged? It does look produced. It does look directed. It's too random. How is it not staged? Allegedly. It seems staged. Like, I don't want it to be staged. You made me laugh. Like, I don't like getting hooked. But then, look at the principles. Kooky Dwight. Dwight would do something like that, right? Come on. And then Andrew Bynum, like, where'd he come from all of a sudden? That's pretty random. Here's my man. Andrew. 2 hams for $20. The customers at my work are looking at me laughing out loud to Rome's reaction to V. Thanks, V. Bro, I don't know where you work, but I'm not laughing. Do I look like I'm laughing? Cindy somewhere is laughing. Cindy thinks that stuff's funny. And here's Silk. Silk randomly jumping in here. Brah. Can we please ditch the LeCook talk and ask Alvin DeLauro to hit us with a Decalocty for the big Dodgers v. Yankees series this weekend? Thanks, brah. Yeah, I've been thinking about that, actually. Not what you're asking for, but that big Dodgers v. Yankees series. Hey, Alvin, it's up to you. I know you got a lot going on in hour number 3. Do you want to give him what he wants?
Yeah, boy. Aw, yeah.
Brah. Silk brah. You happy? You're welcome. All right, what I still want to get to, still ahead, ATPs. Alvy's week that was, and you know what? Screw it. I'm going to get some soccer in. I'm doing it. Screw it. Hey, Larry, if you're thinking to yourself, oh, yeah. You know what? Rome's going to come to me. He already did LeBron, which he said he wouldn't do. He's going to do soccer, which he said he wouldn't do. Then he'll come to me. Hey, Larry, ask yourself this. If you want to give a please stay LeBron parody when I've already done it with the XR4 Ti, in what world do you think your parody would work when I've already brought the whole crew in and done my parody? Right. We're not doing it, Larry. All right, when we come back, maybe some soccer, maybe some ATPs, definitely Alvy's week that was. Man, another gambling story. Incredible. No! Oh, Nick the Clone is in. Wait, let me hold everything. Nick Casario is in. At least somebody pretending to be Nick the clone.
Well, I'm
That's his
definitely a
handle.
clone.
Jim, remember when I told you Please Stay LeBron was the worst thing I ever heard? Not anymore. What? You talking about us? Nick? Come on, Nick. Come on, Nick.
Quite frankly, it's bull.
Quite frankly, Nick, that's bullcrap. All right, stay tuned. We'll come back. We're going to finish this hour strong, like we're going to finish the week strong. Get up in here. Hit me up. You know where to find me. Phones, X, chat, email. Stay tuned.
You're listening to The Jim Rome Show.
know what? Screw it. It's Friday. I don't care. I mean, how much damage could it really do? How much could it really hurt? Let's just go to the phones. We go to NoCal. Yeah, no. We're not doing that. Come on, Larry. You really think I'm going to take that call? All right. Now, what I did say, I know I said that I didn't know if I was ever going to talk soccer again on this program. But I think I do deserve my bleeping credit. I think I deserve credit for being open-minded and for being willing to adapt and evolve and respect the fact that a number of you do like the beautiful game and cover a sport that I used to have less than no respect for. I think I deserve credit, and I'm not getting credit. And I'm tired of giving myself credit. Give me some bleeping credit for working as hard as I did, considering what I used to think about soccer. And I think that given that I'm a mainstream person, you know, better than most, but I am mainstream, that I did a really good job at the World Cup. Like, you know how I used to be. Like how soccer was nothing but an excuse to bag up blood and urine and throw it at other people. How it wasn't a sport as much as it was a reason to riot. How every single player would go down like they took sniper fire every single time there was incidental contact. How we had to wait for a stretcher and an ambulance to carry them off the pitch even though they were completely fine. I can go on and on and on and on. And you know what? I was pretty much right about all of those things. Well, almost all of them. But yes, I've been willing to watch and learn about the game. And you know what? I have to be man enough to say this. Since I've spent as much time analyzing it, studying it, learning it, being open-minded about it, evolving as a person and a talk show host, I am man enough to sit here and look you right in the eye and say, it's still freaking too weird and too lame. Yeah, I said it. And I'm not going to apologize for that opinion either. Soccer should apologize to me for its weirdness and its lameness and for me taking it seriously for the last 5+ years. Case in point. Case in point. That disturbing picture of Messi bathing that infant who went on to be his World Cup final opponent. Still creeping me the hell out. Everybody else is acting like, oh, that is so cool. That's so awesome or something. It's not cool or awesome. It's lame as hell, and it's making me really uncomfortable. Now, I was hoping it was like most everything else on the internet, that it was just fake. It was a fake photo. But of course, UNICEF, of all organizations, had to come out and confirm that the creepiest picture ever is in fact real, while actually producing a second incredibly creepy bathing photo. At UNICEF, quote, yes, those photos you've seen are real. My reaction? No! Thank you for nothing, UNICEF. I was really hoping they were not real. The one thing on the internet that I wanted to be fake, I was really hoping that they were not real. So I didn't have to think about this creepy weirdness while watching the game on Sunday, which I might not even be able to do now because I don't want to be haunted by these stupid photos because they're so weird and creepy. But that's not the only embarrassing soccer item that I've seen on social media in the last 24 hours. I mean, some of you are like, all right, finally, Rome. Fine, that's the Rome I know. How about FIFA's post announcing the referee for Sunday's final? And you would think they just picked a new pope from the FIFA ref pool. Seriously, would you look at this guy? Are you watching the feed? Look at this guy and tell me you have ever seen anyone happier about anything. Look at the ref show. This dude is crying. He's weeping over a game assignment. And then look at all the other weirdo refs embracing him. It is one of the most cringe scenes you will ever see. Messi in Argentina didn't even react like that during either of their miraculous comebacks. And they're players. Why is the ref acting like that? Nobody on the Argentinian squad acted like that when they came back in the 85th minute. And they beat England when they were down 1-0. But the ref show is weeping. Can you imagine the NBA account promoting a clip of, I don't know, Scott Foster crying hysterically about getting assigned Game 7 of the NBA Finals? Can you imagine how well that would go over? Imagine muscle-bound Ed Hockley weeping about getting assigned the Super Bowl. You can't imagine it because it would never happen. And the funniest part about the ref bawling his eyes out isn't even the ref bawling his eyes out and all of his other ref peers who got passed over bawling their eyes out and embracing him, is the Daily Mail headline that immediately followed that news. At Mail Sport, quote, FIFA appoints Slavko Vincic to referee World Cup final 6 years after he was arrested at a sex party where cocaine and guns were found. Let's go. Now we're talking. First things first, as always, sex is undefeated. And as always, these soccer ref show characters are all shady as hell. Who is surprised by that headline? Of course, the ref claims he was just invited to a, quote, business lunch that just happened to be raided by the police. Was it also invaded by the Bolivian marching powder? Was it also invaded by the pros? The Tang? Okay, Waterworks, whatever you say, bro. It was just a business function that happened to be invaded by the Bolivian marching powder, pros, and Glocks. The hell kind of sport is this where we have to look at photos of babies being bathed and the ref show openly weeping because they got their next assignment? I've got no idea. I just know it's not for me. I tried. Man, I gave it a hell of a run, didn't I? I gave it every chance possible, and I deserve credit for that. I really do. And a credit I'm not getting, but I deserve it. But I also deserve credit for being mostly exactly right about this sport all along. As for you, Slava, I liked you way better when you were attending parties with Glocks, with the booger sugar being lined up all the way to the door, and pros. Go back to being that guy and not the fake, emotional guy crying for clicks. Then maybe you'll have my support. I mean, of course, FIFA, not sus at all, not unsavory at all, not corrupt as hell. Of course, FIFA couldn't resist the opportunity to put a cocaine-fueled sex party attender as the ref of the most important game in 4 years. Who should we go with? Slavko. You know, the guy who was at that cocaine-fueled sex bender with Glocks and pros. Business function. Soccer, man. I tried, and it came back to bite me in the ass. Look at this guy crying his eyes out. I don't know what's worse, that. Oh, what do you know? It's snowing. That would be blow. Those aren't snowflakes. Those are cocaine flakes.
Cocaine.
Man. What's more bothersome? That the infant pics And I said picks. It's not one. If it was one, we could have been like fake, fake, fake. But then no less an organization than UNICEF said that's not fake. Here's evidence. Here's another one. Or a crying member of the ref show because of an assignment to the game. Man. Bro, because it's all about you. Like I just said, Argentina had two of the most incredible comebacks ever. And none of them were as emotional as you were. But it's all about you, isn't it, ref show? All about you. Dude, Messi himself didn't cry like that. And that guy's pulled off some of the most insane bleep ever in this tournament. None of them from the Argentinian team were acting like that, but the ref is. Damn, soccer. Damn. All right, when we come back. Oh, wait, one more thing. Back to Bryson DeChambeau. So I mentioned he was hit with a 2-shot penalty and was not happy about it. Kevin Van Valkenburg on X, quote, Bryson's agent is saying that Bryson is 100% serious that he is not sure he will play tomorrow. Plans to make the decision in the morning. Quote, he's a lot of things. He's not a cheater. End of quote. Well, you know what has always been said about golf? The gentleman's sport. Calling somebody a cheater is the worst thing you could possibly say about any golfer. And Bryson doesn't want to hear that. So I wonder what Bryson thinks when he sleeps on that. That I'm going to get that chip on my shoulder. I'm going to win this. I'm going to win this event in spite of them. Or if he's going to be like, hey, man, nah. You can't do me like that. I'm out of here. And by the way, the folks there that laid that ruling down, you think they care if he leaves? That's going to be interesting. All right, so there's that too. Still ahead, your reaction. How about some ATPs? Can you hit me with some ATPs on the way out the door? Ask the pros. If you have nothing to ask me, ask Alvy something. Ask Tom something. Ask Alex Hattie something. Ask the legend next door. Lorne. The XCR. Ask them something. And then Alvy will have his week that was. That's a guaranteed lock. We'll have that also. So ahead.
You're listening to The Jim Rome Show.
All right, so time for the ATP. The Ask the Pros brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts. All right, quickly. Tommy, this is for you. This is from @Rooster Ain't Gonna Die. Producer Tom, how long has Larry been on hold for?
Great question. He's been on hold so long. He's been on hold since before I started working on the show. So I'm gonna say I don't know. Larry can answer this better than me. 15 years, something like that. He's been on hold.
15 years. But don't give up now, Larry. You're this close. 15 years. You're this close. I'll probably retire or be put in the ground before he gets put up. All right. Dear Jim, when you had a home in the desert, did you spend any time here in the summer? 113 the other day and a brisk 102 with humidity today. Thanks, Jim and Coachella. Obviously, Jim, that was not our first choice. But yes, I remember driving down to the desert and taking a picture of the thermostat in my car when it would say crazy things like 109, 112, 113. Janet is not a fan of that at all. I grew up in the San Fernando Valley. It's hot as hell. It's the surface of the sun in the valley. I grew up playing tennis in the San Fernando Valley. The heat doesn't bother me nearly as much as it does most people. Yeah, we know, Rome, you're wearing a sweater. The thing about the sweater, somebody else asked me about that down here. Let me see. Hey, Rome, I see you have a long sleeve shirt on. Exactly how cold is it in that studio? Here's the honest answer. This building is weird. It's bizarre. The thermostat, I ride the thing up and down. It's always weird. And I'm cold. I'm cold in this building. You wouldn't believe this. I have a jacket in my car that I ride with every single day of the year. I wear the jacket in my office while I prep most of the year. Part of the reason is there are different parts of this building that are cooler than others, and we have a lot of equipment that you have to keep cool, but generally it's cool. Yes, it's cold in this studio. There are times where I'm freezing in this studio, but I'd rather it be cold. But that's why you always see me in long sleeves. It's always cold. Romy, will you and Jano go see The Odyssey? KJ in Tahoe and Pasadena. You know what I would say to you? I would say I have to ask Jano, but I already know the answer. No. No, we will not. Hey, Jim, what is the update on the possibility of a new pet for Casa Rome? Bella B. So Jano wants to wait until the fall, but what's going to be an issue is what the pet is. It's going to be a cat, but how many? Janet seems to be of the opinion that it's not fair to have only one cat. I'm like, oh, the same conversation we have with kids. It's not fair to have one kid. That was good. We had Logan, no offense, bro. We had Jake. I'm like, Jake's the most wondrous kid ever. Like, I'm good. Jan said, oh, I'm not good. I'm not good. You can't have us an only child. I'm like, I can. Jan said, I can't. I'm like, all right. I guess we're going to wrestle. Actually. So she's doing the same thing now with a cat. It's not fair to the cat to only have one cat. Why? And then the other thing is, what kind of a cat? I'm already making noise about, I missed the Ragdoll Legend. The Ragdoll Legend was incredible. We're going to get another Ragdoll. She's like, nah, I don't think so. I'm like, here we go. Avi, are you ready yet? Because I don't need you to be ready. Wait, one quick one. Buck Blaine. Hey, Lauren, did the self-promo this week get you any dates? Go ahead, I'll wait.
Hi, Jim.
Hey, Lauren.
I've got a busy weekend, but I'll be in time on Monday.
Oh, my man is booked wall to wall, getting nice. Lauren, you know what I like about Lauren? Lauren's one of us, man, except even better. Lauren's quick. I've got a busy week, but I'll be in on time on Monday was the response. Brilliant. Avi, roll it. I know. Who's the new guy? Welcome to the jungle. I'm Jim Rome. I'm back off my 2-week vacation. Great to be here. What's cracking? What's going on? Listen, I've been gone for 2 weeks, so if you just want to get up in here and touch base, go ahead and do it. You know where to find me. If you're in the chat section, hit me up. Now, for the thing that absolutely nobody needed. Conor McGregor v. Max Holloway. I mean, we waited 5 years for that? We know nothing ever lives up to the hype. Nothing. But I'm not sure I've ever seen anything live down to the hype other than maybe the U.S. men's national team, which I'll get to later on. Even I think Conor's legs are pathetic. Signed FDR. War polio smack. I don't think you want to war polio. Kobe Jones. This was supposed to be the team. This was supposed to be the golden era.
I'm not a big fan of the whole golden generation thing. Any team that gets, title with that, they tend not to have success. I mean, Belgium could probably tell you that as well.
The animal catches
I'm
up
like
to
the
the
rest of you. I
grandfather,
can't stop
lifting
watching that
him
guy.
off
That
the
dude is
ground and
airborne.
throwing him several
He's
feet.
lucky that bison didn't finish it. Put him on a cracker and have him as a snack. Damn cat. I got out of our boat. I hit this one patch of wood that had some wet moss on it. I might as well have been on ice. Both my feet went forward and I landed right on my back and I bounced my dome off of the boathouse. I'm now convinced I have CTE. Tim Hardaway joins me for a couple of more moments. Tim, the one guy we haven't mentioned is LeBron.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say, so he's not going to Golden State. The longer that you wait, I think he's going to Miami. That's just me.
Hey, but do you remember when you said that diarrhea is the great equalizer?
No.
DC said, avoid gambling on farts and avoid doing the backdoor Mississippi with your spouse.
Probably the most amazing, and for me to say it, brother, I'm gonna tell you right now.
Brother, I'm telling you, man, you got my roid respect. You don't want to glaze him too much.
Just so happened we were there, and so we were able to go up to the Thriller in Manila.
My man, were you really at the Thriller in Manila?
Yeah, 200 Caucasians, all Filipino people, which was real cool.
Dricus Duplessis, why is it not enough to win? Why for you do you have to win a certain way?
Because that's what the base in the world does.
This guy got to the top of the super chat. His post is brother. That's one of the best posts I've seen in quite some time. Levante David.
First thing he said, we just gonna get rid of the dumb shit. You know him. We know how he is. He cursed with it. No more dumb shit. Like, we lost all our games because we doing dumb shit. And we're not gonna do no more dumb shit.
It's the World Cup. That's why the whole world was watching, bro. It's the World Cup. Why are people making fun of us? Why is everybody being so mean? You don't even know us. You never spent any time around us. Clearly, if you came around, you would know how badly we want it. Of course, much has been made of the fact that your contract has only one guaranteed year.
I'm not going to get into all the details, but I feel very, very comfortable accepting this job. I just want to tell people, just sit back and watch and see how this plays out.
Team Kron or Team Sauce?
That's a toughie, but I think I'm Team Sauce.
Alvy? Team Kron or Team Sauce?
Team Sauce.
I'd say in recent years I've swapped jerseys, so I'm on Team
I
Sauce.
had an edible once in college, and I thought that hell had come to this plane.
Lost in the sauce.
What is your beef?
This cacophony of discontent, DK Metcalf and Aaron Rodgers ripping some delicious summer cigs.
My wife, lately she's been watching all this FIFA stuff, and she demands a hydration break right during the middle of wrestling. I'm the one doing most of the heavy lifting.
This beef may cause headaches, rapid weight gain, dizziness, and inability to think straight. Conor McGregor breaking his stupid leg after being out for 5 years and losing all my money.
Here, anyway, but I'd like to make one humble request. If we could just do the lower third and just make it Rex number 7, that would be awesome. If we could just do that.
And all together.
Please choose
LeBron.
No one really needs to.
But you're the
biggest bag in the whole world, and we all want to move on.
Hey, Manny, if they put a clock on you, how fast could you go at this point?
Only if I was being thrown down a cliff would I be anywhere near 20 miles an hour. The question would be, how fast would my hamstrings snap into half?
Love talking to you every time. I appreciate you so much for having me on.
I almost banged the monkey and said, enough.
I just don't like seeing us pit our beautiful queens against each other.
Another part of your summer book tour, Rome. Why do we always lose to Ghana and everybody? Why do we always lose no matter who it is?
Oh my God. Messi.
Let's just say lowest scrotum.
The world needs plenty of bartenders.
Hey, listen, spandex boy.
You're the best, Jim. Thank you, buddy.
Romy, my man, what's going on?
You got my trophy too.
I'm sure he forgot.
Good night now.
Alvy, great job. There's so many great things in that, but I want to reference one thing. Rex Hoggard, who said, hey, listen, if it's not too much to ask, maybe next time in the lower third, he's talking about the graphic at the bottom of the screen. In the lower third, can you font like the type? Can you font me Rex 7? I said, you know what? Next time, I think I can do that. And then in the middle of the interview, Lorne, the XCR, had changed it to Rex 7. Bam! So while Rex Hoggard was doing the interview from England, I said, hey, Rex, look at your screen. And he looked down. He's like, no way. That's awesome. And he got a kick out of that. And I thought it was funny that he got a kick out of that, but I didn't think much of it. Afterwards, Lorne and I were talking, and Lorne said, hey, Jim, I don't want to make a thing out of this or anything, and I certainly don't want to, glaze myself. Well, Lorne didn't say that, but Lorne said, I want to tell you a funny story, if you don't mind. You got a minute? I'm like, of course, Lorne. He said, Rex said to me when the segment ended, he's like, we could never do that. Okay, right there. That's me and Rex 7 joins the show. Rex saw that and he goes, we could never do that. The Golf Channel, we could never turn something like that around that quickly. You guys must have some kind of operation. You must have a lot of people working there. And the whole point of that is yes and no. We do have some kind of operation given what we're running out of this little hut. But we don't have a lot of people working here. Like that was all Lorne and the XCR. Lorne, I'm so proud of you, dude. That was awesome. That was another television pro who was like awed by like, we couldn't do that. No, you can beam from overseas, but you can't do what Lorne just did down the hall in this little broadcast hut we have in Orange County. What about you, Lorne? Lorne, you're getting dates. You're getting props. Lorne's not even trying, man. Not even trying. And there he is. All right, but here's another one. Oh, we're out of time, Lorne. Sorry about that. But I want to share that story. I don't know if I should have shared that story, but I wanted to give Lorne his props. Like, Lorne just can do things. And believe me, Lorne's got a nice setup, but we don't have the resources of, like, the Golf Channel. And yet Lorne's doing things that they can't do. Legend. O'Reilly Auto Parts can help take the guesswork out of your vehicle's check engine, ABS, or maintenance light with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE, certified master technicians. Be sure to ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today. That was a great week back. My thanks to Jamal Mosley, Pelicans head basketball coach. Manny Diaz, the head football coach at Duke. XR4TI, great job, clones. Everybody have a great weekend. See you Monday. We're out.